I'm Ryan from Seaway.
And I'm Patrick from Seaway.
And we're going to tell you about the time we were in Washington, D.C. for our first time. We were like kind of doing an overnight drive. We didn't actually play Washington, D.C., but it was kind of our first time as a band there, so we thought we'd drive around, see the White House, see the National Mall, I think it's called. But it was like 3 a.m. in the morning or something, so it was like wicked late. Nobody was out. And so we're in our big white van in our trailer, and we're just kind of looping around looking for parking. And I guess as 19-year-old kids, we didn't really realize how suspicious that was. So we're looping and looping, and then eventually we get pulled over. Oh no, actually, one of the cops actually said, "Hey, where are you guys going?" And he said, "Oh, we're looking for parking." And he said, "Okay, go up over there." Anyway, we keep driving, miss the turn, and then so he's like, "Okay, what the hell are these kids doing? They're clearly not going where I want them to go." So then there was like a couple more, I can't even remember how many cop cars, but there's a few more cop cars, some Secret Service. They were like walking around with our van with the mirrors to check underneath and like shining all their lights, and like half of us were asleep too. But I think they ended up being pretty nice about it. We kind of just played like we're the dumb tourists, didn't know where we were going. But that was probably the first time we were like, oh shit, we should probably check where we're going next time. I think I was definitely one sleeping too, so I woke up and there was just like this big Secret Service guy shining a light into the windows. I was like, oh, good morning.
Yeah, one time we, actually it was the first time our van got broken into in St. Louis, and we were all bummed out, obviously, and we had tickets for a hockey game that night, so we were like, fuck it, we'll still have a good time, and just got super hammered. And then the overnight drive afterwards, I was sitting shotgun, and we got like a ton of Wendy's just before this, and I was sitting shotgun, and I like fell asleep, and I just like woke up, and then just like looked at our buddy Pete who was driving, and then he's just like, "Are you gonna be sick? Like, you look like shit." And I was just like, and then I went to put the window down, but I missed it, and then just projectile all over the front of the van and like down the door. And then we had to pull over at a truck stop, and I was just like cleaning it, like throwing out CDs that were just destroyed. Yeah, it was dope. Probably our last holiday show we just did in Toronto. It was our biggest like headline show to date, I think, at the Mod Club. And yeah, it was a couple days before Christmas, so it was good vibes, lots of friends and family, and yeah, it was a packed house, so it was pretty cool. Yeah, that was definitely just a moment to be like,
yeah, and the show, the headliner that we did before that, so that was just this last winter. In the summer we did a Toronto headliner, and it was just this like tiny little club. It was like a really good show and it was sold out, but like a tiny, sweaty, dirty punk club. And like a lot of our parents came out to that, and like they were still excited. We were like, yeah, but it's the same shitty venue we always play. So the fact that we like upgraded to this bigger venue and it really turned out, that was really cool. Mine wasn't on tour, but it was just before tour. We were starting a tour, like, so this would have been the weekend, and we were starting the tour on the Wednesday. And I was out with some friends and ended up having a few more whiskey drinks than I probably planned. And we were just, you know, walking to someone's house after the bar, raging a little bit too hard, and for whatever reason decided it was a good idea to swing a punch at a mailbox with my right hand. I'm left-handed, and I swung with my right hand. I don't really remember it. I woke up the next day and I'd broken my hand, so for that entire tour I had like this hand brace on. The first time we played Slam Dunk, I think it was the first show, and it just like, the room was just like absolutely nuts, and there was like kids stage diving the entire time, to the point where the stage manager went over to our tour manager Matt and said, if this doesn't stop, we're gonna have to shut this show down. And that's the first time where I was like, oh shit, this is punk as fuck.
Yeah, it was
gonna shut
like,
us down.
It was within like the first few minutes of the set, so it was pretty intense. And I think at the time, those Slam Dunk shows were probably our best shows by far.
Yeah, yeah.
We were like, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty awkward. Also, the first time we got red wine on our rider, that was pretty rockstar.